Welcome back to another episode of the Success Times Happiness podcast. I'm your host, Richard Thompson. Today, I'm joined by Jayden Sheridan, youth mentor and founder of Gnarly Neighbors. From growing up in one of Australia's most disadvantaged towns to creating a national movement empowering kids through skateboarding and connection, Jayden's story is one of grit, hope, and purpose. We explore how breaking cycles of trauma begins with belonging and how prevention, not crisis intervention, is the real pathway to change. Whether you're a parent, leader, or teacher, this episode will shift your perspective on what impact truly means. All right, let's get into it. Jayden Sheridan, thank you so much for coming onto the show.
Ripper, no, thanks for having me. Stoked.
I want to start at the beginning. What was life growing up in Seymour? What environment did you find yourself in?
Cool, yeah. So growing up for me, home wasn't always a safe place. My mum struggled with mental health, addiction, no father around, or my stepfather, and he left when I was young as well. So in my teen years, I come to realise I was dealing with complex post-traumatic stress disorder from my childhood, and as well as likely ADHD, dyslexia. So bit of a surprise when school didn't work for me. I couldn't be at home. The skatepark kind of became my sanctuary, and Seymour was top 9% disadvantaged towns in Australia. So it's on that very low socioeconomic kind of cusp there. DV rate is triple the state's average. A third of households scrape by less than $650 a week. A third of also make up single parent families, and a third is also housing, which is, I think it's meant to be like 3 or 4% of housing. But back, we're near Puckapunyal, the army base. So Puckapunyal used to kind of take up the whole of Seymour with occupants and houses. But after they moved everyone out to Puckapunyal on the base, it all just become commission housing. So it just become a dumping ground so the generational traumas and kind of everything is just kind of been very prominent and hasn't had a great deal done for it. We're kind of often labelled as the end of somewhere, a middle of nowhere.
You know, if you're born into that environment that you were, that is just, you know, for better or for worse, you have no control over that, right? And so how do you reflect on that as a child, not as an adolescent, but as a child, when you're most innocent, you're most impressionable, there's so much science around the growth of the growth of the brain between 18 months to 3 or 4.
Yeah,
you're in,
exactly.
and not just yourself, but obviously as a township, as a community, it's almost like you're so prejudiced just because of that environment.
Yeah.
How do you reflect on that now you're an adult?
So it's so crazy. I got a couple of ways of reflecting on it. And it wasn't until kind of my like older years and having my own son, which will come back around full circle to that. But my childhood, I think back and it was fun. I had a fun childhood.
Interesting.
And it wasn't until I was talking to people after I left Seymour, went to Melbourne, and I'd start to tell a story about my childhood, and I'd be like, my friend's family was locked up, and I lived there because we lived there by ourselves as 14-year-olds, and I'd go to tell the story because that was setting the mood, and people go, wait, that's not the story, and I was like, oh yeah, that's kind of messed up, isn't it? I forgot. I didn't realize people don't. So there's that side of it. Like to me, it wasn't that, but then there's the other side of it, which I've got a very vivid memory of being a child, like a small child. 4 or 5, I've got a real photographic memory from that thing. And I think it is because of the traumas of that, as you said before, that 18 months to 5, that fundamental, which is where my complex post-traumatic stress disorder has come from. I remember having to feeling like I didn't belong here. There had to be something more for me. I call it the superhero complex now. I don't know if I'm coining that, but I literally had to convince myself that I was here for something else and I was here for a greater purpose. And I've luckily now manifested it accidentally from a child. And to my dismay, I'm not shooting webs, but I've realized my superpower besides my ADHD and even my dyslexia is just bringing people together, and then everyone's superpowers kind of make that magic happen. So it's...
What age were you when you believed in that superpower?
That's like bringing people together?
No, you realized that you thought that you were here for something better.
I just had to convince myself that, and I think it was from 5 onwards.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it was there, and then and don't get me wrong, like from that 1 to 5, my life was like that, and I moved away from Seymour. I actually moved up the road from your recording studio here, and
Yeah.
I lived in Pacific Paradise. And it was funny because I found this out with my therapist. Only recently, just went to therapy because I realised some things weren't firing the right way, and there was bits of my memory gone and stuff like that. And the therapist, I didn't tell her the good stuff. I told her, I think this is affecting me. And then I went to my teenage years and said, I think this is, she was kind of boggled, and I see she was looking at me and asking a million questions. And then I said something about when I lived in Queensland, everything was good. She goes, wait, hold up, go back there. She goes, I was trying to figure out how you're not, what's the word? Kind of a word for like a psychopath.
Yeah.
Like I was trying to, and she goes, you've had nurturing in your life. That's how that part has played a massive part of you just not going the complete opposite way. I'll have to check back on the word,
Yeah.
but yeah. So, and it's like that, my childhood and believing I was here for something else has kind of, I think it was from very young, and just I've kind of cottoned onto it was accidental manifesting because that was my will to live, which is crazy.
And your adolescence, talk to me through that, because you do talk about some pretty heavy stuff, homelessness, selling drugs, that instability.
Yeah, so flash forward to 15, so my stepfather had left by then. At the skate park where I found my sanctuary, there was just no positive role models, and the people I was growing up around, they're away from murder, attempted murder, drugs, everything like that. And that's who, if I wasn't doing what I'm doing now, I'd be really good at being bad, because that's all, you can't be what you can't see, and I'd only ever seen bad, and I do like being good at things. So that's the people I was hanging around. So at 15, I had, without food at home, started selling my mother's drugs so I could eat. And then from there, I was fighting. I was just angry at the world. I was on a tear, stamping my authority. And I was on probation for grievous bodily harm, fray, all this. And like now, the conflict is the last thing that's ever going to happen from me. I just want to hug people rather than bang heads together. Like
At that period of time, what do you think you were searching for at that age?
That's what I was looking up to, people that were just their mentors. And I was just looking to fit in a path. And honestly, it just kept going on the worst ones. And I keep saying, I honestly don't know. Like I was on the path to homelessness, jail, addiction, or worse. Like that was it. I didn't think I was getting to 30. I'm sitting here 30 today, 31 this month. But I didn't think I was getting there, and I didn't think that from a childhood. And now my whole mission now is, like, you kind of see me. I'm not that straighty 180 as well. I've had a dark past. I've created a bright future, and I just want to show that you can still live a colourful life, so I can have hope for young people and people that are on a dark path. You can come back from that, and you can do good shit, so lack of a better term.
I like that. I really like that. We can talk about that.
Yeah.
So what was the key turning point then for you?
So there was a lot of bad crap in the middle there. And then at 17, that's when it all changed. I found out I was going to be a father.
At 17?
At 17, I found out. So I let go of the white knuckles, stop being angry at the world. And just because he had my blue eyes doesn't mean he was going to share the same tears. And he was just my reprieve from the darkness, and he's what changed it all. It gave me the power to change it all. I've done it, and I take that on now. It's a bit hard for me to do that, but yeah, I changed it for him. I changed the narrative for myself, and now I want that for all young people around Australia. So he was the one. So yeah, he's 12 now. I had him when I was fresh 18, and just turned my life away straight away. Just end that generational cycle.
Do you admire yourself for being able to change? Because that proposition for so many adolescents and youths, and even adults really, who are on that path of self-destruction in any which capacity what vehicle or environment that looks like, really, I'd imagine it's really hard to be able to almost reinvent yourself and not relapse into the white knuckle, what you know is you've imprinted in your system as the go-to response.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Like, and that's why I just kind of took accountability in a positive way to myself, saying I did change that, because yeah, it wasn't easy, and I'd never seen anything else. What I had to do is just be what I didn't. So I had to do the complete opposite, which made it a bit easier in that sense because and I found out I was lucky enough, like reconnecting, like I didn't have a father around, and to me and to and still now I'm very grateful for that. In a sense, I got to cast my own shadow. I didn't grow up to be racist, bigotry, kind of. I've got stoke and I've got love for people doing their own thing, and that's what I just want to show my little bloke. So I'm fully aware. I'm an enigma, essentially. Seeing it, I'm the minority, and I've seen it with a lot of my friends, and people had to go down the other way. And I say, I must have lived this life. I got this delusional thing that also helps me go through life. That it's like I don't know if it's the Matrix or something, but I get to do my life, and every time I get to the end of it, I get to this little room or something, and they say, all right, like butterfly effect, change one thing, go again. That's my outlook on life. And every time I get to change one thing, because how perfect my life is and how well everything has worked out and not gone down that super dark path where it could have gone, couldn't have happened first go. I couldn't have got it this perfect straight away. So I think I've done it before, and it comes back to my complex of CPTSD. I used to have deja vu, and my body would expect the worst. I expect a car to come through, and I'd have panic attacks and everything like that. Now, when I have deja vu, I just say, "You are where you're meant to be." It kind of helps that thing, but it's been a massive learning curve, and I do give respect to myself for doing that.
So we'll get into prevention and how over crisis and gnarly neighbors as well. But I don't want to speak for you, but as I see it, the birth of your son, but more so what that did to your own recalibration, right? And as a result of his arrival, I'm trying to get to this point of saying, not everyone that is going down the self-destructive path can have this life-altering, you're going to be a father, going to be a parent, T intersection in life that changes everything and changes the outlook. What can be the catalyst for others who aren't faced or don't have that immediate change of life circumstance?
Yeah, I think it's just, as I said before, like you can't be what you can't see. Right. And it's through what I'm doing now. I think just giving them little tools and little kind of like even one sentence things that are gonna, like you hear the things that people say to you your whole life. And then one day you're in a situation and you get that click and you're like, that's the thing. So just kind of giving all these little tools to people along the way. And as I said before, like the dark past, bright future, colourful life, just kind of letting people see you can go out and do these things. I think starting from young, I say young people, like, and all these young kids, like, and that generational thing in Seymour, it's so prominent. These kids get to see something else and a different way of doing things, and they've got all these tools along the way. And I say prevention is just creating smiling children, giving the kids something to smile about. And kids get bored and throw crap over their shoulder, so do us as adults. But for kids, it's super important to have the next positive thing in front of them to pick up, and some more mentoring there. And I just think if we create smiling faces, them smiling faces and these kids turning into smiling adults, and them smiling adults become the prevention. I think that's that whole way around. The smiling kids are that they come to that T intersection and they're not going into it with a frown thinking, you know what I thought, and this probably touches back on it perfectly. When I found out I was going to have my son, I said, my life is over. And I was 100% correct. My life was over. It was just that life. And I didn't know it was a positive thing. I thought I'm going to turn 18 and not going to get to live. And I couldn't be living anymore because I had that thought, because I knew I was going to change.
At what point did that whole position of prevention is far more powerful than crisis response? When did that crystallize for you?
I think it's been prominent the whole time, and through what we're doing as well. I wanted to be a counsellor. I had a woodwork teacher when I was on Centrelink and needed to go do something to get my Centrelink, so I'd done cabinet making. And and I wanted to be a counsellor because I did want to help kids when I was from a young age kind of thing. And they said, don't do it. You'll take too much home with you, and you won't be able to sleep and et cetera. And I said, I'll end up like Dexter. I would help kids during the day and go bad guy at night. And I wouldn't. So my way of doing this is, as I said before, giving endless amount of opportunity and a safe space for these young people. And kids might not need a therapist. They might just need somewhere safe to be. They're not bouncing off a closed door. And when I've seen all these kids, thousands of kids coming through, we got nearly 1,000 kids we're working with every week, and seeing that preventative measures in place just by being there for them, that's preventing all them little, like you're going up a river and you got all these little off tracks for them pathways. It's preventing them. It's keeping on that straight and narrow kind of. They can go curvy, can do everything like that. They can learn their lessons, which they need to. Encouraging safe risk-taking behaviour, building up that centre cerebral cortex, the grit factor in their brain through pushing themselves in out of discomfort. And we're just helping create stronger adults that do have these lessons. And that prevention piece over that crisis reaction is just such a no-brainer and so much more simpler than the government or anything makes it out to be.
Yeah, well, why do you think the systems that exist, they only come into effect when kids break down rather than helping the prevention of that happening in the first instance?
I think it's kind of like, it's a bit of like a misguided, if it's not broken, don't fix it. It's like, so I've been in rooms and I'm a bit punk rock with it, so I apologise in advance. And the reason I'll never be in politics is because I see so much red tape, and I won't put myself in that red tape. I don't mind with this new movement we're doing as well, getting people together, and like the nation together. I'm trying to work on actually, so we can do things collaboratively, and then start pointing fingers at the people that are supposed to be doing these things to help. But they do just throw Band-Aid solutions because it does check a box for them rather than that long-term piece. And they need it quick, smart to show what they're doing for it. But really, I think it's you got to nip at the bud with these things and bringing everyone together to create that systematic change. And I sit in a room with people that they talk about a problem and they go, oh, it's such a shame. Next on the agenda. It's like, hang on a second. If we just spend 20 more seconds on that, have a quick brainstorm, we might think of something that can make a difference.
For people listening who are in education, community or government, what would you wish they understood about that whole prevention piece?
And we're about to do a long-term study in Seymour, and then when we go everywhere else, we're doing a 2-year, a 5-year, 7-year, and a 10-year study with a university to show the change we're making.
Yeah, right.
And the problem with it is the world's moving so fast, education especially. Kids have got poking machines in their hands with endorphins that they don't get in a classroom anymore. I think it's Sweden, they don't do academic schooling until they're 7 years old. It's out, they're hands-on, they're doing life. But the thing, even with any school, they need to do a study, and there needs to be a certain amount of people doing this study. Take 10 years, it might take another 5 years before they implement it, and then we've already moved 30, 40 years. I think, is it the Einstein theory or something like that? This is kind of my advice I would give to make it quite simple and break it down. They did a study with these kids in kindergarten. They gave them a paper clip, and they said, what can you do with this? These kids, they said, you can make a necklace, you can make it bigger, you can hang things off, you can do this, etc. And the answers from these kindergarten kids ended up being higher than Einstein's IQ.
Yeah, right.
They've taken these kids, so through the schooling system, they went back and they said, what's this? They said, it's a bloody paperclip. And it's the youth-led movement, and we are the knowledge as older people. We've been around and we know the way the world's moving. So how many times do we pick up the kids are saying something, we've got no clue what they're saying, or they pick up our phone and they bloody show us how to do something. The kids have also got the knowledge and they are the future. So I think we're just having a way to kind of touch into that and kind of see how fast the world is moving through them. I think that will really help kind of shape where the world's going to go, and give that respect to them in that way. I think think a lot of people do, but yeah, I think that will help a lot, and I think they will help create that prevention if we guide them in the right way to create ways to create the next generation of change makers and give them positives to do so. I think they'll make a massive impact.
So what does that prevention, what does it actually look like on the ground in terms of is it access? Is it connection? Is it belonging? How does that look?
We're in a like an epidemic for youth mental health. Like suicide is a leading cause of death in Australian teens. And I say it's a crisis. It's not just a crisis, it's a lack of connection. I think it's 40 or 60, either side of the 50, say they feel lonely or isolated a lot of the time. And
In a world which has never been more connected,
yeah,
right? Isn't that
exactly
crazy?
right. Yeah, so and that's the whole thing. It's these kids are feeling so lonely and isolated, and I say all the time, no matter what socioeconomic background you're from, as a child, especially, we got the kids that are they got the rich parents, but their parents are always out working, and then you got the kids and their parents are with them all the time, but they're just not doing the right things because they've never known any better. At one point or another, when you're coming to self as a young person, you're going to feel lonely and you're going to feel isolated. And that's where that path without positive role models, I think, so as we said before, 1 to that 4 or 5 years old, you need a nurturing, it's a mother-like model in your life, like a role model in your life. Then it's a male dominant role model. Then from then onwards, 12 years old, it's
Peers.
Yeah. And if you haven't got it right in them spots, it's crap. So through what we're doing with Gnarly Neighbors and what I've created and doing that on that psychological level as well, is create that mentorship that really can be catering to each of them. I say we're like the cool uncles. The kids get to come in. We get to give the kids back. It's awesome as well. so people say we're going to leave their kids also. So no, they're so cool with you. Because we get in, we get kids skating from 4 years old.
Yeah.
And we do have all these other programs, but skateboarding really is the catalyst. Just for us, that's what I've known best. But 4 years old, we're building up them parts of the brain, and we're pushing it, like, teaching them how to fall, discomfort.
Well, it is so poetic and so connected, skateboarding or skating generally, to life.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like it is finding your feet. It
falling,
is finding
getting
balance,
back up.
falling, getting back up. It's testing your limits.
Yeah, everything.
It's everything.
So there's that, and then you get to the next stage, and we run mentoring sessions. So we're teaching kids from year 3 to year 6, and we're getting young boys in schools, and we teach them vulnerability. We say, all right, cool, we're doing this massive ramp. We go, all right, put your hands up if you're scared. Boom. There's your thank you for letting us know you're vulnerable. We can help you with that. When you ask for things, you get help. We're teaching that's like that whole kind of wellness for like us blokes. I say the leading cause of death in Australians is the term she'll be right. Especially us as blokes, we get to a point where we go, she'll be right. We're dealing with the black dog. She'll be right. Someone talks about it. We feel so awkward. She'll be right, mate. And going to the doctors, she'll be right. It's the cancer and everything comes into that there. It's teaching these kids in that peer stage where we can give that role model, like male role model, and even female role model as well. Like we can get our women in there helping these young people kind of find that as well, that mentorship. I think it's just so important just to understand the psychological things with these kids, and really helping them keep it fun first. You get the fun first in there, that's the prevention piece.
Small.
It's actually so easy. It seems so easy, but so I think we're doing a right job.
It's an interesting development that adolescent piece, because I don't really know at what age as an adult you come out of your chrysalis, and so for some people they may not achieve it, but to get to the point of wanting to just being really happy to be yourself, right? There's like a paradox position of being exceptional in life. And that's, you have to sort of choose your discomfort, because to be exceptional, you got to be the exception. And that means you either try to fit in and it's uncomfortable because you're not living your true self, or you be the exception and the discomfort of not fitting in. But it takes some time and probably some different events to occur for you to go, I'm so comfortable to be who I am, and I want to be the true person that I am. But as an adolescent, you've got this millions of or hundreds of thousands of years of evolutionary data of DNA to fit in, because like it is, as I said, on an evolution level, your survival depends on you fitting in. And so you've got these kids that all they want to do is fit in. They don't want to be different. And so that then leads into my peers. And it's so normal, obviously, and healthy for them to step away from the parental sphere and they hit 12 or 13. And my oldest is 11 and a half. Yeah. So we're already having these conversations. We're tight.
Yeah.
But it's like at some point you are going to pull away from me, and that's super healthy.
Gonna happen real quick. I'll tell you that right now. It's happened this year for me. Right. We've had to go, all right, 6 o'clock curfew. You got your phone on you, because he's just zipping out the door. Just go and hang with the friends. And it's a bittersweet moment for me. I've trained myself my whole life to be calm, collected, move with grace and understanding, and not be that snowplow parent. So I feel you on that one.
But yeah, and then it is then super normal that they, as you said, like lean into the peer group, and that is their role model. That is their pathway. And so that's, that is the cool uncles or the coach role models of the sporting team. And that's what you're wanting as a parent, right? You're just wanting, because you don't have real control over that. You've had control for 11 or 12 years to go, I can set the best example I can be as a parent. But then there's this like 6-year breakup. Almost. This long drawn out breakup of separation with your children. But I get that. But there's no wonder that misguided pathways. And I know, and I love the fact that skating is in your blood, and this is a huge part of it all. But it hasn't had the best reputation for positive role models, huh?
Yes, definitely not. And it's obviously with the way the world's going right now, it's the Olympics has kind of kicked in, and then there is all that funding and new skate parks. And I did a big talk at the park yesterday. I was at Byron Park, so on the month trip at the moment, running free wellbeing sessions, skateboarding lessons and ecos, just off my own back for my new movement. And I said it's beautiful because it can still be punk rock, and it can still be pure, and it can be the ballerinas getting into it. It can be everything. It's not like kicking a footy or like when you play most sports, there's a certain way this is going to work perfectly, and it's going to be the best way you can do it. It's science proven. On a skateboard, the uglier you do something, the more hesh or more cool it is, because it's unlike nothing. It's like anything else. In football, you have to be Ackermanis doing handstands or something to stand out a little bit more. You have to have that point of difference, and skateboarding, that's just breeds that. Right, like completely. Everyone can kind of create their own flavor, and that's their way of expressing themselves.
Hey team, just popping in to say thanks for listening. If you're enjoying the episode, please take a second to like or follow the show and share it with a friend. It's the best way to help us grow and keep bringing you more great content. All right, let's get back into it. Let's pivot and go Gnarly Neighbors.
Sick.
How did you build it? What's the elevator pitch?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
Give it to me.
So I got a new one. It was rad kids doing rad things for the whole community, but now it's getting kids on board for real change. Okay. So I started with 6 boards. I moved to Melbourne after my son was born, done the whole week on, week off thing. And then when he started kinder, I moved into my van and we done long weekends. So I was a van man for 2 years. He done 2 years of kinder. From there, as soon as he started school, I moved back to town. I wasn't ready yet. I had started my little businesses and stuff up in the city and worked up there, and I wasn't ready, but it was time. So I had a few tears to my mate one night on a birthday when I was about to move back and said, we have to do something about it. My mate, who I was crying to, he found his dad passed away from heroin overdose. His brothers are some of the ones that are locked up for all them terrible things. And he said, yeah, all right, cool. I got back to the town. I moved back. I got 6 boards. Started taking them down the skate park and offering kids to skate. I started doing it on a Wednesday arvo. From there, more kids were coming. I said, you know what I'll do? I was working at I had my own marketing design business and my own skate brand. And so I was doing freelance marketing and I had a design and printing business. And then from there, I was like, all right, cool. So I started dropping some shifts on my own stuff. And I was like, I'll just go down another day of the week. So I started going on a Monday. That didn't change anything. There was more kids coming. They were just coming both days. And then all of a sudden, I was like, all right, cool. I closed my businesses and I started taking shifts at a cafe so I could pay my rent. And I started going down every day. And then there's more kids. I couldn't keep up. And then all of a sudden, the community, the mums, I call it the whisper of the mums came down, started getting behind it. And as soon as the mums whispered, boom, boom, boom. There's kids everywhere. The community come together. We're fully bootstrapped, still are, no government funding. They bought us 30 boards. They bought us a van, pads, helmets. This
the community.
And that's nothing. You wait until you hear what from there has happened.
All right.
So from there, all of a sudden...
How old are you at this point?
Man, I was 5 years ago. I was about
5 years ago.
25, so we've only been around 5 years.
Yeah.
And then from there, got in this ABC Haywire thing. So it's like a young alum, like a young thing for young people doing good things. So, and I fit in, I was under 27 at that point.
Like an incubator thing? Or?
Yeah, kind of. So it's through ABC, so ABC Haywire. So just young people doing good things around Australia, they get them in, we go to Parliament House. So all of a sudden, I get the yes from this. They do an ABC article on my life. And it's 1.5 million reads in like the first day or something. It breaks 3 records for the ABC, apparently. I didn't know this until I was just about to present at Parliament. Yeah, it broke records. It was the most reshares I've ever had, the most shares on Facebook, and the most reads of first day.
That's amazing.
And I thought it was going to be small town clout. I had my mate's birthday the night before. I woke up at a mate's joint, plugged my phone in, it's ding, 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 ding. Thousands of messages. Thousands. My personal Facebook, my personal Instagram, Gnarly Neighbors Facebook. Gnarly Neighbors.
Blew up.
I get a notification on my phone. I left my email, so I replied to every single message. And it was pretty funny because I thought it was just going to be the small town clout, but no, it was thousands of people. And I get a notification and it just said in a subject line, no body to the email, just a subject. Just put in a donation, keep up the good work. I have a look. And I had my first school booked in, which was the school I got expelled from every single year. All my teachers thought I was going to be. So I'll come back to that story too because it's good on there. But I checked my Shopify on my phone because we're running just through Shopify then. Was outdated on my phone, so I didn't get notifications for donations. I turn it on, it goes, ding, $1,000. I go, what? I look and it said 9.4K. And I was like, oh, that must have been the whole time we're on there because we're selling stuff to fundraise. Okay, and that's today. By lunchtime that day, we had 60 donations. And we had over 9.4K, and my phone just started going ding, ding, ding. By the end of the day, we had 140 donations. Then we got Apple reshared a week later. Boom, and it just kicked us off. We're just like, and it was, I still didn't pay myself then. I only just started actually getting paid recently. Every time I paid myself enough to get by, pay the bills. And every time I could have got paid more, I couldn't do any more. I'm doing 80 hours anyway. I put someone else on to help. We got 15 staff now, But anyway, when I went to the first school I worked at was the one I got kicked out of. And all the teachers said, we thought you were going to be dead. We thought you were going to be in jail.
What age did you get expelled at?
I got expelled year 7, year 8, so which is first year of school. That's like that here now, isn't it? But yeah, for year 7, year 8, year 9, I tried to do twice, got kicked out each year. In between, I got shipped over to live in WA because that was my probation thing because I got shipped off to live with my heroin addict, fresh out of jail, uncle, because it was better than staying over here, getting too much trouble. And that's another story in itself. But I was at the school and I seen some bloke, he looked real familiar. I'm like, I've met you before. And he goes, oh, I got one of them faces. I go, no, what was your work before here? And he goes, oh, you wouldn't know me from there. I said, no, what was it? And he goes, oh, I was in youth corrections. And I go, you're my probation officer. And he goes, he was at wellbeing at the school now. And he goes, you were the rapper kid. He goes, I thought you were going to be dead because all the other teachers are saying to my face, we thought you were going to be dead. And he couldn't believe, that's why he said no, because I was there to help the kids. And then all of a sudden I'm skating, and all the reasons I was getting in trouble for skating at school, they're paying our crew to come in and run the sessions, which is amazing.
That is amazing.
So that's cool. But what it's grown to today has gone from them 6 boards and the community backing us to one.
And sorry, just primarily at that stage, just in that town, just in Seymour?
Yeah, just in Seymour. So we were there, and now from that, I ended up, my face for radio got plastered everywhere after that. It's podcast, ABC, TV, The Project, a few others last year. It's hard to go to have a beer with the boys without them bringing it up on the piss, but finalists for Young Australian of the Year, which is pretty funny. Young Australian of the Year, I just scraped by. I had to be under 30, so I'm not getting that ever.
Again,
yeah, we'll say runner-up, so it sounds better. But so that, and now we've gone from that to strength, and we've now opened up a self-sustaining youth space, which is a cafe, a skate shop, a print shop, and did I say skate park? And just every day of the week is a free program for the kids. Skating nearly every day of the week, creative sessions, games and sports sessions, STEM-based learning. We just got some more funding, so 3D printing, laser cutting. We give 50 to 58 young people jobs a year, so 2-month halfway employment. They come in, no resume needed. They come in, they ask, they tell us what they want to do. They go on the list. They do 40 hours volunteer. They tick off their little criteria in there. That's their training. Boom. They get paid 2 or 3 shifts a week, and then we help we teach them about awards, kind of workplace obligations, everything they need to know. One of the kids was getting asked questions. So yeah, what's super? They got their answer right. I was wrong. So I don't even know these things, and I've started this massive thing that now is just completely sustaining itself, running free programs every day of the week, endless amount of opportunity. Kids aren't bouncing off a closed door. And this whole thing was once again bootstrapped from community, all built up from community, and just been able to make it happen. And where we are in town, so last year, actually, before I go into that, we had our last year's annual report, 41,000 participation, over 9,000 young people. And that's working around Victoria, going into schools 3 times a week and stuff like that. So nearly 1,000 kids we're working with each week.
How many boards?
We got 60-something boards now. Yeah. So I got 30 with me now on this tour I'm doing up the thing. They've got 30 for schools and they've got 15 in the shop. So yeah, what's that, 75? So, and we give out free boards all the time. So every workshop we run is free. If councils pay us to run something and say they're going to charge the kids, or we say no, we won't do it. There's no boundaries and there can't be. So from there, now we've also, and our population of Seymour is 7,000. We've gone over the population in kids in 1 year than our whole town is combined. So, and it's just, and they come back, they're on TikTok all the time. Hey, remember us from here? You need to come back to this school, like everything. And the way I see it and what I want to do, I've done the thing. We're about to conduct this study and we're about to get the evidence and with the data, and we put in the fancy charts that the government loves and needs, give them the best idea they've ever had. And then if there's money that's less strings are tied to it, then we can create these spaces. And I want to go into communities, not just personally myself, but be able to go into communities, say, this is how you don't stuff up your coffees. Here's the best beans. Shout out to All Press. And then also, here's how you make the T-shirts. You do that and boom. The changemakers in their community, we teach them how to run that. And then we can step back and let them know how they work that best. So I just want to cookie cut what we've done and we've proved to work, and just let communities have their own little spin on it. It's kind of social franchise, I guess, might be. That's my vision. I've only got, as I said, my little bloke's 12. I've got 6 more years and then I'm going to go Benjamin Button. I just want to sprinkle stuff on I want to go Batman. I want to make good things happen from the background. I didn't want to do this CEO thing, what I'm doing right now, and on this trip and getting my face everywhere and trying to get on TV. I didn't want to do it. I wanted to be on the ground.
I appreciate that.
So,
but you've obviously tapped into this understanding that for you to do the greatest good,
Yeah.
you need to do that.
To create change, I need to change.
You
So
can't just be the one person on the board in Seymour skatepark.
yeah,
You
exactly.
You need to be the head of it.
Yeah. So no one's going to talk the ass off it more than me either. So
No,
that's
fair play. That is like unbelievably inspiring. Anecdotally, what's been the biggest transformation you've seen in kids?
Oh man, just as I said before about the community, just literally just being able to see kids mesh, leave things at the door, and you can see their mind tick over when something wrong is happening, or even the skate park. This is so small, but such a big impact. It's like the people not putting their trolleys back after shopping. You don't have to, but you know it's the right thing to bloody do. These kids would never be taught anything like that. And at the skate park now, you go down the skate park, it's clean. The skate park's one of the only clean skate parks because it's their space. We've made it the minority to be doing such a simplistic thing, such as just picking up your rubbish to respect your space and having pride in it, than what every other skate park looks like with crap everywhere. That's such a little small thing that I think has
Is that a lesson you're imparting on them?
Yeah, I think it's just that I hate labels and stuff like that. So someone called me the other day, Mr. Ripple. I'll bloody take it.
Love that, yeah.
Because it's the kids we're working with now and then their kids. And whenever, like, legends don't plan to take shade in the seeds they're planting, but all working together and kind of doing it a bit more mass to see the shade come over would be unreal. So, yeah, just planting them seeds for them to kind of implement in their own life. And one day, as I said before, go, that's what he was talking about. When they're in that moment where it comes in, as the kids call it, comes in clutch. I think that's perfect.
And what does the next 5 years look like?
As I said, I got 6 more years in me. I've jumped through all the hoops, and it was tough to get it DGR. We're now going to limited by guarantee, so we can do the national thing and everything. I want to
DGR being the official charity.
Yeah, the deductible gifts recipient, so we can get the government funding and that when it comes, and also philanthropic support, which has been massive for us now. People can have that incentive to donate to us. But I think what I want to do is do it really well. We're in our final phase. So, and I've done all the things I said I was going to do, done it. And we've opened the shop and we've created that sustainability piece. We've got the programs for re-engagement for kids that aren't fitting the mould, the employment pathway program, and we're doing a changemakers. We're calling it Gnarly Futures program. So as I said before, that asking the kids what they want, helping them learn how to do that, setting up little boards and things like that so they know how to step into that in the future. That's just going to completely circulate it all and create that systematic change and create an ecosystem. And then I want the young people to take it over in that 6 years I was talking about, have the tools to do so. And then I want to play the background and I want to go around and teach people how to jump through the hoops. I don't want to do a CEO thing even for my stuff forever. I want to be able to go in and just make good shit happen from the background, sprinkle dust, help lead the way. I do want to be a leader and just kind of help create good things happen. I won't do Gnarly Neighbors forever. It will be passed on. This is my stepping stone to do something on a greater level. I just don't know what it is yet. So,
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. It's the Superman trait that you had as a kid, right? That you're destined for something truly amazing.
Yeah.
And this is like Gnarly Neighbors is from where you've grown at 6 boards just by yourself to now is incredible. But I also get that feeling that this is just a stepping stone to something like systemic change in the country. So, mate, that's an epic story.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing it. Before you go, 5 questions. What does success mean to you?
Man, happiness. I guess that's in there. Or actually, we'll go with stoke. Stoke levels. Honestly, it's not about money. As I said before, I wasn't getting paid till recently. And that's because I got forced my hand into it. And it's my happiness comes from stoke, other people stoke, and just making.
So that's the answer to your happiness as well?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
They're intertwined for you.
Yeah. Honestly, it's like the ikigai. You know the ikigai?
No.
So ikigai is a Japanese term that roughly translates to a reason for being.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know about this until I seen it on Instagram one day, and I go, I did it. And it's I think it's 4 or 5 things. Something you love as a kid, something the world needs, and something you'll be paid for. And you put them things together.
Oh, you find that one thing.
And it's a reason for being. And I've accidentally done it. So it's not money for me. I won't die with money. I think I've got a few other things happening. I've got an invention that's just been patented and we're working on. I've got another one that's about to get patented, and an app I'm working on and white labeled for everyone can have it. And I will have money, but I won't die with money. They say money doesn't buy happiness, but I can guarantee I can do happiness for money and I can make good shit happen. So I think they both, success is just stoke. Keep the stoke levels high and do good stuff.
What does your normal morning routine look like?
For the next month while I'm on the road, it's going to be looking a bit dicey.
Yeah,
but honestly, if I can get up, get into gym, I'm going to have a 6 wake up, get in the gym, start my day right, wait for that hour so I can have my caffeine, so I make sure my receptors doing the right thing. Mm-hmm. I do have the warm salt water, kind of get a lot in there, get the Gary Brecker and everything, Huberman.
Human. Yeah.
So anything I can do, which is crazy because I read labels for things now, I make sure. And before I had my little bloke, trust me, I wasn't reading labels of them packets that I was kind of force feeding myself. So I really try to look after myself as best I can, get in the gym, wait to have my coffee, and then get my little bloke to school, and then from there it's kind of just head down in my laptop and the admin dungeon I've been calling it lately. But now this next month I'm on the road doing where it started.
Community.
So it's beautiful.
This would be an interesting answer. A piece of advice that you would give to your younger self that you could put on a billboard for the world to see.
You're going to like it. I said it the first time. I've been asked this before. If I went back and gave myself any advice, it's like that butterfly effect thing I said, I wouldn't have gone down the path good or bad. All the bad things might not have happened, but I might have ended up at a good spot. Any advice I could give to 14-year-old self or whatever, I can now relay to 1 million kids. So any advice I would give myself back then, I wouldn't. I'd go through the same hardships and same struggles.
So what's your advice to the
14-year-old
kids in your program?
Well, I think it's just there's the million of them. There's honestly, it's I'm giving them little acronyms and little kind of metaphors that are going to click in their head one day, and I think there's a million of them. Honestly, I wouldn't even know where to start. Just kind of I guess it comes down to empowerment and resilience and kind of building up all that grit in these young people just by countless advice.
And then finally, a guest that you would recommend us to have a chat with that has a good story.
Can I give you a rogue one? And you don't have to follow this up. I would probably actually recommend my mate Belly.
Okay.
His success doesn't look anything like success that I'm sitting here and people say it's amazing. He's a sprinkler fitter, apprentice. He's just gone from a brickie to an apprentice. Grew up with him, who I might have mentioned before. We grew up together in Seymour. And his success and his happiness, he's just got his girlfriend. He's just working, as I said, as an apprentice. But he's out there and he's doing life. That's it. He's come from the same place I have. And his success I measure next to mine just the same. Because he's kind of come out of the crap and he's happy and
living his best life.
He's doing his best life. So honestly, me mate Belly.
I love that. Jayden, thank you so much, man. It's been an absolute treat, and I am so inspired, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how it all progresses, man, next couple of years.
So thank you. My brain's a bit pinball, so you can chop it any way you want. When I get stoked, I run with it.
Yeah.
Hopefully I pulled it back at the right times. So you're welcome. Thanks for having me. I'm stoked.
Man. That was another episode of the Success Times Happiness podcast. Next time you're ripping it up at the skate park, turn to the person next to you and tell them all about the show. It really means a lot. A huge thank you to Jayden for sharing his story and showing us what real leadership looks like, turning pain into purpose and community into change. If this episode moved you, take a second to subscribe, leave a comment, or share it with someone who needs to hear it. Every share, every listen helps amplify stories just like this one. Until next time, peace.